Hey guys, it's Charlie Volk here as per always, and decided to make a video in light of the Ed Boon Twitter thread where I want to give my thoughts about the cameos that I think in the game are presently the worst of the bunch right now, or they have something about them that just makes them not very much worth using at the moment. And yeah, so before we get started with this video, I want to give my perspective that I have a different perspective than a lot of people do. And I'm not going to say people are wrong for disagreeing with me on this, but I do have a kind of contrary view of balancing in this game. So I think in this game, characters, the playable characters, they need to have definitive weaknesses that are pretty severe, right? Like Smoke having gaps all over the place, Lee May having like absolutely terrible neutral, things like that. I think there needs to be shortcomings to balance out the cameo system, and I think the cameos are where the power or the utility needs to go to, personally. So I have a different view of that because a lot of people, what they want is they want their character to be really good base, and then they want to add the cameos power level on top of that. I think that's how you get toxic things like the Cyrax meta at the start of this game. I just don't agree with that idea. So I'm gonna go over, I think I can easily come up with 5 cameos that I think right now are very underwhelming. So before I even get to going over them one at a time, I'm gonna point out which ones they are. So the cameos right now that I think need some help or need some kind of adjustments to be up to the rest of the cameo roster right now. It's going to be Mataro, Goro, Jax, Kano, and Madame Bo. Actually, no. Well, yeah, I do want to talk about Kano. Actually, we'll do 6 because Frost is on the list too. So everyone else, Mavado, Tremor, Chameleon, Sector, Shujinko, Sonya, Lao, Sub, Cyrax, all these are fine. But I want to talk about Darius, Kano, Jax, Mataro, Mataro, Goro, and Frost. I think those are the worst by far. So I think the first one I want to start with is Darius, because this is the cameo I actually use and play with. Like, I'm an actual expert on using Smoke Darius as a team. So I had 2 problems with Darius. One being that while his set play is really good, and while the damage is good, and while you have you kind of have the flexibility of everything, right? You get conversions off of things you normally don't get conversions off of. You get throw combos. You get pretty much everything you could want. It is coming at too high of a cost, because in order to do that, you have to spend a whole cameo bar on the roundhouse ambush, of course. And the other thing I have a problem with is I just think he needs a little something on the fundamental level that's a little extra. So when I say that, I think he needs, and I want to talk about this too in another video. I know some people, they have an objection to how health is handled in this game. Now, I kind of agree, but I differ a little bit. I think the cameo health bonuses are fine. I think the problem lies in characters, playable characters, having different health values. If it were me, I would simply make it that everyone just had 1,000 health. I think doing anything else is kind of weird. So, from that perspective, personally, I'd like it if Darius was a plus 100 health cameo. I think that would be good for him. The other thing right out the gate, and there's 2 suggestions I can make here. I would like his forward throw to either do 14% damage, or give me the option to spend half of his cameo to set up this ambush off of the throw, right? He added a new animation where as soon as he does this throw, he gets in position in the ambush, the lower overhead ambush, for half a cameo bar. That's the first two things I would like on this cameo to be done to him. After that, first, I really don't like it that this move is just kind of, it's not very good. It's easily flawless blockable. If it gets flawless blocked, it becomes mad punishable. I'm going to show that off here. If any hit of this is flawless blocked, first hit, second hit, third hit, you're minus 17. And there's already a gap here. Most characters can poke out of you doing this on a block string or armor out of it, so I personally think this should be safe. I just think it should be what it is here, minus 7 no matter what with the pushback. So I would make his bad cameo minus 7 with the pushback no matter what, no flawless block punish, nothing like that. And then my final thing is, this is kind of a niche thing, but I kind of think it would be nice, is depending on what kind of combo you get, like let's say I'm going to do a throw combo with smoke. You do this correctly, see, I sandwich them, right? I would like to be able to do the sandwich ambush moves from this position off of like a throw. Like if I could do Army of Two off of this situation, that'd be really sick. And it would add some creativity to the cameo, some additional flexibility to the cameo. I would really like there to be something like that. I presently don't like it that I can't do things like another thing I would like to be able to do, for example, is you call this on block. I would like to be able to do a string into the back or forward cameo options. And same thing goes for like on block. If I have you in a sandwich, I would like to be able to Army of Two you out of a string like as a special cancel. But that's why I would do the Darius 14% forward throw or half cameo bar spent, like you hold the cameo button or something to set up the lower overhead ambush stance. Safe back cameo, and the ability to special cancel or like Army of Two out of more situations after the roundhouse ambush. That's what I'd like on this cameo. So I'll move on to the next one now. Next cameo I want to talk about is Kano. Kano to me is like kind of weird. Obviously he's got some characters that he really synergizes with, like Baraka or like Raiden, but he's doing so in like the most boring way possible, right? I really think that there's nothing that's really interesting about the way he works. And kind of what I'm going to propose is a bit of a total rework almost of this cameo. So there are a couple of things that kind of irk me about him. First of all, the fact that he's just the knife toss. This is just really boring. And it's like, yeah, it's useful, obviously. You know, you can use it for combo extensions you normally can't get, things like that. But, I don't know. First, I kind of think that the priority of the two ambushes, the Kano Ball and the knife, should be switched. So right now what we have is we have this Kano Ball. This is just a knockdown, but it accomplishes the exact same purpose as the double knife toss in that it's plus on block. It's an ambush, obviously, you can use to cover yourself, blah, blah, blah. Personally, I think they need to potentially swap this around. One is kind of a nerf buff. I think that knife toss should cost the whole cameo bar, but do more damage. First of all, I would make this actually do like 70 or 80 damage as a starter. And we'll see how long it takes to come back after 2 of these. I don't think it's very long. Yeah, as you can see. So it would still be something you would have. I really like the idea of cameos having this factor of like you being able to cash them out. So maybe you could do something like with Striker where you could hold back, hit back cameo and then hold cameo. and he would do like a different knife toss animation that would give you a more powerful knife toss for the whole bar. And then for regular combo extensions, I think they should just give you a hit advantage, like a hit advantage state, kind of like MKX off of the KO ball. And this will be your half bar combo extender and your pressure extender. I really don't like it that this just option selects a ton of things all at once, right? While also having a better cooldown, by the way. Like the knife toss is like slightly better. So I would, I guess I would do it like this. Make the knife toss on normal use not be able to be comboable at all in any way. But then if you hold back, or if you hold the cameo button after, you get a more powerful knife toss that does like 80 damage instead of 39. And you get a bigger combo, you get like better hit advantage. And then you change the hit reaction on KO Ball. Like I said, it'll be like his NKX KO Ball, where it just puts you in a hit advantage state that allows someone to combo, right? But this is worse on block. It's slower to come out, has a slower cooldown. I think that would justify this entirely. The other thing that I kind of miss is I think they should put more hit advantage off neutral cameo in the corner and let you combo off this easier in the corner. So right now it's still plus 12. But the other thing I don't like that they did was this used to actually give you some... let's see if I can actually get this to come out. So this actually used to give you some pretty good damage. I just had to see if I can actually get it. This is like very hard to hit. It's very awkward. I'm not even sure it works anymore. Yeah, I'm not even sure this works anymore. But you used to be able to combo off this in the corner when it first was buffed. I think they should add that back in. You could only do it in the corner. And I like the idea of him having this combo extender or combo starter that is corner only, that gets you big damage, it kind of awards you for cornering somebody. So I like them to bring that back. I like them to bring back the way that this worked when they first buffed it, where it gave you a full combo, it barely had any scaling on it. I would like that. And then I think remove the 50 health penalty. I think Kano can afford to be a standard no health change cameo, in my opinion. Next cameo I want to talk about is Jax. So Jax is in another one of those weird spots where this is more like, I think he needs a rework of sorts. So let's look at what Jax gives you, right? +7 off of any string that is mid, so you have to armor out of it to avoid it. That's pretty good. I think that's fine. Unblockable ground pound, we all know it launches if you're standing up. It doesn't launch if you crouch block, right? And then these ambushes that only work, I think, on opponents that are hit in the, or that have been hit and or airborne. I don't think this works on somebody jumping. Okay, it does, but you never see anybody use it that way, right? And then there's the gotcha grab, of course, for disabling people's cameos. So I think the gotcha grab is really cool, and I would completely leave that as is. I think that's fine. What I don't like is the ground pound, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree that this is kind of stupid, right? It's just the idea of like absolutely jailing unblockables that you just get to whittle away people with does not seem like fair to me, right? I mean, you're taking here, I have them blocked, that's right. Stance block. Okay. Yeah, the idea of like my opponent just gets to make me take 5% unblockable damage off many common situations seems dumb to me, and also because I don't like checkmate situations in fighting games, and the characters that this cameo works with, like Takeda, like Katana, there are situations where you're just dead from a certain amount of health in ways that you cannot avoid, and I really don't think things like that should exist as much as possible. So what would I do here? Um, this is hard because this cameo, if buffed the wrong way, could like make the game really shitty. Um, we'll address ground pound last. Let's look at the corner though. This you can kind of combo off of it in some cases in the corner. I think you should get a better mid-air state so that you get more consistently get combos here, right? You don't need combos mid-screen, but it would be kind of cool if you could get better combos with jacks in the corner because you cornered them. I think that would be cool. Other thing I would do is I would make this. I think they need to make the state that comes from this like more practical to combo from, because he tosses them, right? He tosses them. I think at least they should give you an option to toss them toward you after he does this. Right? If he could toss the character back toward you as an option, that would be cool. So that would help make his like combo ability a lot better and more practical for more of the cast, right? So that makes him better across the cast of characters instead of just like only good for certain characters because of the way their combos work. And I think this is fine as is. It's fine as is. But the ground pound is a big problem, and I don't know what you do with this. There could be an argument that maybe you make it take the whole bar, and you just make it a low that launches, and you can set up hard blockables with it, which is kind of boring, right? So that's like hard to make do with. So I'm not sure what you do. The only thing I can think of is maybe if you had to positionally direct it, like I could hit neutral, cameo, and forward or back, and then that would actually allow you maybe to get out of situations by jumping out because the hitbox of the shockwave isn't big enough to hit you. I don't know, but I just know I don't think the design of this is very healthy at all for the game. And no one likes the feeling of getting scrubbed out by jacks. I know so many people who detest the way that this cameo is used. Especially with like Scorpion, where he just does death spin, the guaranteed 5% unblockable damage. It's so annoying. But yeah, Energy Wave and Gotcha Grab are fine as is, though. But I would make this a more reliable combo state in the corner. I would make this, you could have him be able to like toss them back to you as an option. And yeah, I don't know. You either have to make the ground pound low and then scale the damage that comes from it and like make it do like not so much damage, or you've got to like make it unblockable that gives you the full launch no matter what they do, but it would have to put you on like, it would have to use the whole cameo bar, and you would have to be put on a cooldown that's like one of the longest in the game. It would have to be like you use a Goro ambush all the way kind of cooldown. But that's what I think about Jax. Next we're going to talk about Mataro. So Mataro's another weird one. This is a cameo that's only really usable realistically by a select number of characters in the game. And I would like it if it was more universally usable. Right, this is obviously like a defensive kind of cameo that's meant to facilitate runaway in some degree of zoning, right? So I'm just going to say it off the rip here. and you can call me out for it if you want. I think turret should be an ambush. Just straight away. I think zoning in this game deserves to be better. This would be one way to immediately accomplish that. Right? If this could be an ambush, that would immediately accomplish that goal. Second thing is, I kind of would like it if... Well, I don't know. Maybe that's it. I think that's it. Take away the minus 50 health and then make turret an ambush, and then I think this cameo is like in a good place, period. I did wish there was more of a way to get combos with this in ways that did not rely on you doing a move with high hit stun. Like, I wish I could do something with smoke like this and get a full combo. Something like that. But honestly, I think that's all you would have to do is take away the minus 50 health and make turret an ambush. That would buff zoning across the entire game. That would buff defensive play across the entire game. Like, this would definitely work. And it wouldn't necessarily be better than the cameos that people use for offensive purposes to keep their turns, right? So yeah, I think that could work. Alright, next one I want to talk about is Goro. And kind of like Bataro, I don't have much to say. Because a lot of people don't seem to be aware that Goro's cooldowns did get buffed in the latest patch that happened with this game, and they got buffed pretty significantly. So, for example, let's say like you want to throw combo with him, for example, like something like this. He starts coming back way faster than he used to. So I think the cooldown issue is kind of settled. I don't think that that's a problem right now, partially because I think the only reason that this was a problem was because, like, you were legit on your ass with that cameo for like 10 seconds before it would start coming back, I think, previously. And Goro does have one unique benefit that people really downplay about him, in that he is the only cameo that granted the cost of your full cameo bar. He is the only cameo in the game that allows you to combo off of every single possible hit state in this game, which is huge, man. Like, I really don't think people understand how powerful that is. He, like, OTGs off things for full combos that are not supposed to work and things like that. Like, Goro is really good, in theory. I just think he needs a couple of quality of life things. First, right off the rip, I think he needs to lose the minus 50 health. I think he needs to be a standard health cameo. I mean, that more or less goes in line with what I've been saying in general. The other thing is, this is another quality of life thing. I think the throw needs to be almost like straight up behind you. Like, for certain characters, this is just not practical to combo off of and get decent damage for it either. Like, it's just not very good. So, like, or if you could at least have a close and, like, far toss option. Like, if I could hold back and have them a lot closer to me for combo purposes, that'd be really nice. But I think with Goro at this point, that's all you would have to do. Take away the minus 50 health, and then make it so that his low command grab can be aimed, so that you can have an option to have them closer to you, so you have more flexible combo utility with it. Otherwise, I think that's kind of it. Alright, next on my list is Frost. And Frost is definitely a cameo that I think is almost where she needs to be, but still not quite. So, there are a few problems I kind of have with Frost at the current moment. One is, like, for not giving you any additional health, and for not having a kit that's, like, just obviously good across the board. Her damage is kind of low right now. So, if I do a standard combo with Frost, I'm getting about 2 to 3% less than I do with Sub. I guess I could compare real quick. Let's do that. So 347. Now the thing is too is Frost is slower, so she can't combo off as many things. So like with Smoke, I can't do 1-1-1-4. I have to do just 1-1 here. Yeah, it's quite a drop in damage, right? First thing I would do is I would make this fast enough to make a combo off of any string in the game. So you can just do it off like Smoke's 1-1-1 or whatever. I think you should do that. I would do that first. I don't see... There's like not enough of a difference in balance between her and Sub-Zero that I think that it should be harder to combo off of her for less damage. It just doesn't make sense to me. Second thing is I really like the ice wall, and I like the ambush option that comes with it. But I think she needs one more ambush option, and I've been saying this ever since they put this ice wall in the game, is I want to be able to hold or press another option, so she calls the orb instead. So if she could pincer you between the wall with the orb coming out, that would be huge. I think that'd be really good for her, right? And you'd obviously would have to give it a much longer cooldown than this right here, but that would be really sick, in my opinion. Another thing is I kind of think that, and I've been saying this for a while, I would kind of like it if we added now some exceptions to Flawless Block and Nullifying Chip, and Frost is a good one. I think even if it's just like a 0.5% a hit, this should still chip even through Flawless Block. Right? So that'd be, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So it'd be like 2.5% chip through Flawless Block. Keep in mind that they don't Flawless Block this and take quite a bit more. Right? That would make this worth using too. This would add to her more defensive playstyle, or kind of align with her defensive bias like Sub-Zero. So you would have this move that both chipped and it pushed them out. You would have this like setup thing here, would be able to call the wall and set the orb up. And then you would get a little more damage because you wouldn't have to compromise her combo structure with her if this was faster. And I'm going to say it, I think she should also get plus 50 health, if not plus 100 health. But that's my take on Frost. Not long either, but I do think she's really lacking in the game right now. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of reason to use her. Like the LA characters that really get any kind of mileage out of her right now are like Quan Chi. And like, well, I think Quan Chi is kind of it, right? Because he can do like, you can call out the orb off a certain knockdown, so you have to guess like Tentacle or Stomp, and that will give you a full combo that doesn't scale very much, things like that. But yeah, I really don't like where she's at right now. So make this do 0.5% chip per hit, so 0.50 each hit when Flawless blocked. Make this like a couple frames faster so it combos off every string no matter what it is, no matter what the button is. And give us an option to be able to call the orb after this instead of doing the ice crash. I would really like that. And then plus 50 or plus 100 health would be a nice bonus. It would be a nice bonus, but it's not necessary. Anyway, we're going to move on to the final one. This one's going to be the longest one of the video, I think. In this video I want to talk about is, of course, Madame Bo. Everyone knows how I feel about this cameo. I made a video about it, and ever since I made that video, I gotta be honest with you guys, my opinion on this cameo has only gotten worse. I think she's just garbage. I think she might be the worst cameo in the whole game, if I'm being honest. So let's talk about what my issues with her are. Terrible combo conversions, terrible scaling on everything, and a drink mechanic that does not provide you enough reward. It just does not. So let's talk about what I would do. So the first thing is, I've kind of mentioned, like, for example, like when you do the full slide here, you do the extended slide that costs the full bar. The gravity here is terrible. It's counted as an airborne state, so like if I hit them out of this, you can see even the initial launch there. I guess I can do it like this. Let me do it like this. Even if I launch them out of it, the gravity's all sucked up already. I just don't like this, man. I think this should be counted as a full standing launcher, personally. And if you just do the sliding and keep the gravity as is, because I think that's fine. But I think this should be a fully, count as a fully, like, from standing state launcher. I really don't like that. The other thing that sucks is the monkey flips. I said this before. I know people don't like this idea, but I just think they need to do it. I think this needs to be double overhead after the mid. I think you can keep the awful combo scaling as is because you are kind of giving it a hard to blockable tool, right? But I just think it should be double overhead. I'm sorry. It should be double overhead. This move has no purpose whatsoever outside of that. It just sucks. It just sucks. So I would make this mid overhead. Fuck, I would even make it triple overhead, if I'm being honest with you. If I'm being honest with you, I'd make it triple overhead. But aside from that, the ball toss is fine, like I said before. This is like just a... Right now, I think this is a better version of the KO knife. You're starting to see people using it that way. You see a lot of people who use characters that use KO like Johnny and are using this instead because it's just better. The bottle alone has a better hit advantage, so it's easier to confirm off of like straight hits with it. So the bottle is fine, and the bottle tosses from this stance are fine as well. I don't have any complaints about those. My big beef comes with the drink benefits. These things are so terrible. So I gotta go over them one at a time, I guess. So let's go over, where do I want to start here? Okay, start with the dash cancels, right? Hold on. So, first of all, the fact that just the raw dash takes up a drink is so fucking stupid, bro. What is this doing for you that you need to, like, what is this doing that you need to make this take a drink? I don't understand. I think you should just always be able to do this after you get any drinking you and it costs nothing. Second of all, this cannot cost a bar meter, my dude. And it costs all your drinks, by the way. I have to bring this up again because it drives me crazy. So not only do you... let's see, let's say that. Yeah, it costs all your drinks to do this? Like, what? All your drinks and the bar? This is nonsense, my guy. This is nonsense. Like, this needs to cost no bar meter, and it needs to only take one drink. Please, NRS. I'm begging you. I have always wanted to see you guys make a good, like, drunken kung fu style character or archetype in a game that works. And I understand maybe you're afraid, but you've always been too conservative with this, guys. Please. Make this only take one drink and get rid of the bar meter requirement. This is not worth it to go for at all. It's not worth it. Next is the sumo slam, the belly slam. This is also just unmitigated dog shit. So, once again, this is a weird move too, so let me explain. So it costs one drink to do, but you cannot do it with one drink left. Okay? Any of those kind of limitations have got to be removed. These are pointless limitations. The fact you need 2 drinks and you can and it uses 1 drink, but you need 2 drinks to even use it. To me, this is stupid. This makes no sense. The fact you are also not rewarded in any kind of a way for instant airing this, I think, is like punishing execution. Because you can do this. You can do this pretty low to the ground, but it will always be minus 17 at best. And this move is just not good enough for that, man. It's not good enough for that. And my third problem, of course, is the vomit. This is the big insult to this cameo, in my opinion. Right? It's slow. It puts you in a maxed out gravity combo state, and it does no damage. Please, NRS, make this an unblockable trap. I am begging you, NRS, please. If you're not going to up the damage off this and make it a full standing launcher, please make this an unblockable lingering trap move. Now, it says unblockable for you, right? But this is low. This needs to be unblockable. It has to be unblockable. Otherwise, this is pointless. The fact you can't even get drink service for a duration after using this, and all it does is give you like 20% off of a load that's pretty reactable to animation, even though it's 10 frames. The animation is something you see coming from miles away, and it gives you this awful combo state. Like, this just is not good. Make this into a trap move that lingers on the ground for 90 frames that is unblockable. And I will be happy with it. Please. Please, I am begging you. Please do that. And then if there's a cameo that I think should give you bonus health, it should be this one. It should be this one. I think this should give you at least plus 50, but I think plus 100 will be good too. But plus 50 will probably be enough. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the worst cameos in the game and what I think would help them compete with the rest of what's in the game. So I'm curious what you guys think. Like, subscribe, comment. I got a lot more videos coming about this kind of stuff about the game. But those are my takes. Let me know what you guys think. See ya.